switching to Google's earnings. So this was Google's Q1 2024. I'll start off with this one. So Google
Yep,
Cloud
please.
revenue was up 28%, and their growth was fueled in GCP with I'm going to use the quotes here, an increasing contribution from AI and strong Google Workspace space growth. And the company said that this workspace growth came primarily from increases in ARPU, so average revenue per user. So again, I will be releasing a research note this week, kind of digging more into both kind of where that comes from a workspace perspective, also some of the announcements from Google Cloud Next, because a lot of that, sort of contributes to where they're seeing growth in workspace and some of the announcements that they made there. Also, where they're really kind of driving those AI bets. So again, I don't want to give too much away, but kind of that's where I'm seeing there. Obviously, you also know that they released a dividend. I think that's interesting.
Very.
But what do you give me your take, and then we can go back to that.
Yeah. So, I'm covering the data cloud portion, and there's a lot of new enhancements, which I'm actually getting ready to release a research note or paper actually on the data cloud enhancements that are going on and how that's affecting really their transition for this year and next year. And it deals a lot with Gemini and AI and the data management and the BigQuery and how they're making it easier to utilize the data cloud. They're obviously growing tremendously as we're seeing with the numbers that are coming out. And it comes back to what you just said with the dividend. I think it's very unique that a company does come out with a dividend, but I know that you give us maybe more of a take on it than I do. So what's your thought on that dividend?
Yeah. I mean, unique definitely for a tech company, and it's unique. Well, it's the first time that Google's ever done it, and it skyrocketed them to a $2 trillion company. Haven't looked today what the stock is. But my real take on this is that Google is making some really hefty AI bets, right? And that's driving their growth. But these hefty AI bets come with hefty capital expenditures. And so issuing dividends limits their cash on hand for those investments into product development and acquisition. So it's just an interesting time for them to do that. They've done layoffs to try to cut their costs. And so they're trying to balance these investments with their bottom line costs. And so it's interesting. So I wonder, and I've read a little bit, of kind of what Wall Street is saying about what they're trying to signal to the market. So, like I said in our disclaimer, this is not for investment advice, and I'm certainly not an advisor. But I think I know enough to get myself in trouble. But I just thought it was interesting, and certainly will be, kind of trying to dissect that a little bit more to figure out where this is coming from. But overall, excellent quarters for both companies. Clearly seeing a path to monetization for both companies in their AI bets.
Mhm.
I think, obviously seeing adoption of Gemini, of Copilot, and really interesting to see, where that's going to go. And I've heard so many people talking about kind of this next wave of AI. And is the next wave of AI going to be these AI agents instead of co-pilots? And so,
Mhm.
I think we'll watch this evolve, and it'll be really interesting. It's a great time to be involved in technology. I mean, it's always been
Absolutely.
to be involved in technology, but it's certainly there are big turning points in time, and this is one of them. And
Yep.
so it's interesting.